welcome to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keene. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out, www.spreaker.com/user/Best Damn Podcast. Also, if you're watching here on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell. That way you guys can get all of the notifications. And also subscribe to our backup channel, BDP2 at youtube.com/Best Damn Podcast. And guys, keep in mind, we are completely viewer powered. So that means we're fully funded and supported by you, the listener, the viewer. So consider donating and supporting by going to paypal.me/the Best Damn Podcast, venmo.com/Best Damn Podcast, or you can even become a patron for $1 a month at patreon.com/Best Damn Podcast. Well, guys, we've got pretty major breaking news today. We were going to continue the Forbidden Knowledge series, but in the light of these new circumstances that have arisen, which we did predict, by the way, if you guys don't remember, the coronavirus has now been labeled a global pandemic. A global pandemic. And this was declared by the World Health Organization, not to mention, not too long ago, I believe about an hour ago, President Trump addressed everyone, basically, outlining the plans for the country moving forward in light of the pandemic being announced. And one of the new changes we will be experiencing is a travel ban, at least for the next 30 days, to Europe. Guys, I have some, disturbing things to kind of show today concerning this. So, this isn't like meant for children or anything like that. And, people can go ahead and toot their fear horn, their fear porn horn. But, the truth is, we got to show what's going on. We gotta be aware. I absolutely refuse to, sit around and be in ignorance, and I refuse to let fear dominate me to the point I'm not aware of what's taking place. So it's a tricky spot to be in, but, I think we're all grown-ups here, and we're all mature enough to handle, what's taking place. I do want to shout out a few of you guys in the chat room. Shoshana Rose, a wonderful moderator. Karen Wager and Jeffrey McLean. Everybody be very respectful to them. They're helping me out, so I appreciate that. Joe C., Strike Force Delta. Tracy Campbell. Appreciate all of you guys. Ice to See 711. Who do we have here? Leah Jellin. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. Wildman, my wonderful mod. Susan Baker, Lisa Post. Thank you. I appreciate all you guys. Leon Connor, Lou Machado, Zach, Despina Pasuli, and SBVA. Hey, brother, I actually got a message from you today. Thanks. Daniel Phillips. I appreciate all you guys for joining me. And looks like we have Gerardo. I can't even say that last name, but thank you for joining, bro, and Tim Marcano. So the coronavirus cases passed 115,000 worldwide. I think we'll go ahead and kick it off with the World Health Organization and their declaration of a global pandemic. I mean, it doesn't get any more, simple than that, right? So I'll let you hear it from them yourself.
Thank you, Tariq. Good afternoon, everybody. In the past 2 weeks, the number of cases of COVID-19 outside China has increased 13-fold, and the number of affected countries has tripled. There are now more than 118,000 cases in 114 countries. And 4,291 people have lost their lives. Thousands more are fighting for their lives in hospitals. In the days and weeks ahead, we expect to see the number of cases the number of deaths and the number of affected countries climbed even higher. WHO has been assessing this outbreak around the clock, and we're deeply concerned both by the alarming levels of spread and severity and by the alarming levels of inaction. We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic. Pandemic is not a word to use lightly or carelessly. It's a word that, if misused, can cause unreasonable fear or unjustified acceptance that the fight is over, leading to unnecessary suffering and death. Describing the situation as a pandemic does not change WHO's assessment of the threat posed by the virus. It doesn't change what WHO is doing, and it doesn't change what countries should do. We have never been...
I'll tell you what, though, what it does change, guys, what it does change, and I didn't want to bore you with all the details. You basically get the gist right there, and we're going to be looking at the details actually ourselves. So I'm always a big, proponent of, going over the fine writing myself, considering I don't trust none of these people as far as I can throw them. But, I mean, that's just me, I guess. We've got this being labeled a global pandemic. Now, if you don't remember, I could refresh your memory a little bit, I guess. With some of the documents that we had, remember, you guys, the anonymous resource, January 31st, that leaked out that this wouldn't be labeled a global pandemic until when? Mid-March. And where are we at, guys? 3/11. Isn't it funny how they chose 3/11, by the way? Right? Isn't it funny that they picked that date? When you look into the occult kind of aspects of all these things. Anybody know what, 3 times 11 is? Right? Anybody know the answer to that? And why that would be significant to, doing something of this sort, right? Also, this is the 9-year anniversary of Fukushima, I believe, and I've even got an article and some information showing that this is like a triple tragedy now, basically, in Japan. So there's a lot of weird things concerning this date in particular and why they chose it. Now, according to this, anon here from January 31st, we knew that the eruption would take place in Italy, that's where the pandemic would burst out, and that's where they were basically going to, work their model of medical martial law from that point. And that's exactly what we've seen. As you guys will see when we go through this further, it went from, what did I say the other day? Did I say 12 or 16 million people were locked down in Italy? Well, now it's 60 million people are locked down in Italy. So major, that's major. That's huge. An entire country, big time, right? And all their supermarkets and everything are now shut down. And I think that a lot of people have bought into the other side, right? We've seen propaganda from both sides. We've seen one side saying, fear, fear, fear. Be terrified, be scared, right? You're going to die. Right? You got that side of it. And then you got the other side. It's like, it's not real, man. Don't sweat it. Nothing's going to happen. Chill back, right? And as always, right, it's not really good to rush to one extreme or the other, right? All things in moderation, even moderation. And this is just another example of how true that really is, right? So now the people saying it's fake look like idiots, right? Because there are real deal events or consequences as a result of this taking place, and people are dying, no matter if it's from a real or perceived virus. I don't know, and I can't prove it either way. I could just show you what I've shown you in the past, which is the studies from Delhi University, leading to it kind of being biological and weaponized. not found in nature. And that study was made to be withdrawn. So who knows, right? Little suspicious, little conspiratorial right there. So I could show you that, but that doesn't really prove a whole lot. We've had people saying, hey, it's the nemesis system, and it's, this is why they're getting respiratory troubles and pneumonia, and this is why they're dying of sepsis, so there's that angle to look at it. And then we have people talking about 60 gigahertz, and all the places that this is erupting in are, set up for 5G, right? So we've got a few different angles that people are taking on this, and you can even look in the Dean Koontz book, right? And how this thing is, been predicted. What was it? I think I've got it right here. Yeah. Publication date of May 1981, man. And they're talking about in the rDNA, and we've heard nothing but RNA here, right? Wuhan 400. You hear Trump talking about, oh, it'll miraculously disappear, and then boom. And around 2020, severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and bronchial tubes, resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself, it will be how it suddenly vanishes. Strange, man, strange. We've pointed out other things as well, like these, right? The Illuminati cards, which every single time, even for Fukushima, right, popped up and shown their ugly faces. That's down to 9/11, the Twin Towers. That's down to the Pentagon. I mean, you name it, man. Every time one of these major Las Vegas shooting, anytime you see a major world-changing event, there is at least one or two Illuminati cards to go right with this thing. So this has been no different by any means, no different. And, can I prove that, right? Can I prove that? No, I can't really, right? I can just point it out to you and say, yeah, that's weird as shit, And we have seen a lot of really coincidental deaths, right? Like, I think I got it right here. In Iran, the vice presidents and all these different things, these political opponents that are dropping off like flies. But I think the number one thing to focus on, is there appears to be an agenda behind all of this. We've spoken many times about how the artificial intelligence system is already in place, right? You're already seeing biometrics, retina scanning, facial recognition, all of this, right? That is being implemented. Even you pick up your smartphone, it has your thumbprint, whether you gave it permission to or not. Matter of fact, all of our phones now are created where you can't even take the battery out. And that's for a purpose too, so they can remotely turn your cameras and microphones on, and you can never stop them from listening. So, I mean, they've got those type of things already in place. We've already seen the erosion of our freedoms, our liberties. We've seen them testing, shutting down YouTube, Facebook, all this crap for months, for the last year or so, right? Like they're practicing for something. I showed just yesterday, was it, the federal ICE agent that committed suicide in New York, and his letter talking about how our economy was terminally ill and that they were making a plan to save the federal government, but it would basically consist of what we're seeing now, the stocks crashing and a martial law type of situation to strip all of us of our guns, our rights, push us into internment camps, aka FEMA camps. And we've seen this kind of chipping away at us through a lot of these disasters, like the hurricanes in Houston, the fires on the West Coast. A lot of these things have already set up shop, so to speak, in a lot of different places. Well, lo and behold, we have shown that in October of 2019, Event 201, right? I'm not going to read all of this, but just the gist of this was a pandemic exercise that simulated a series of dramatic scenario-based global pandemic, right? And this was using governments, private businesses and corporations funded by Bill and Melinda Gates, and the World Economic Forum. So this was huge, guys, very huge. And at the same time as this was taking place, which is more than a coincidence, I think, October of 2019, the Manpower Guidance for Activation and Deactivation of Reserve Component Marines ordered to active duty ISO defense support of civil authorities. Guys, this is the one that really, really sketches me out the most. You say, what is this, John? If you haven't seen it, well, just concentrate on this. Civil. That means in the United States. Well, you say, well, they just can't deploy our armed forces on us. You're right. And they don't use them. The only ones that have that kind of access are the Marines and National Guard, reserves, right? So that's who they chose. That's who they chose. They chose the branches that they actually could use here. And the only way that they'd be able to actually activate them, guess what? Was when a governor declares a state of emergency. And when you're looking at what's going on right now, state of emergencies seem to be pretty damn normal. Let me show you. Let's see where we're at now. Yeah, 12 U.S. states have declared state of emergency. And not just that, too. We've seen in many headlines and articles before all this popped off, really, that they were calling for Trump to declare a national emergency. That would also enact these forces, by the way. So it's a national emergency by the president or the governor from each respective state declaring a state of emergency. Jeffrey McLean, John, you can't even find half of this stuff anymore, bro. I know, guys. I know. I'm sorry about that, too. I am. But I've been on top of this for a while, so I know where to look. And I know what they use and all of that. I'm not sitting here stroking my ego either. I'm just saying, I've already known where these things were at because I've paid attention to this one in particular. The Civil Act, that stuck out to me like a sore thumb. I thought, what in the hell are they doing this for? Right? And I've just been kind of riding the wave, waiting for the moment. And the event 201, there was just a lot of things that stuck out to me really big. And I knew that we were really close. And when they was talking about the economy at an all-time high, man, my mind always flashes back to the Bible. And I don't want to get all weird and religious on you, but Babylon falls when it's at its peak, okay? So when I say we were peaking and stuff, I'm like, oh shit, here we go, And the first kind of blow we're dealt is an economic crash. And this is when plague and famine is released all at the same time. And after that, man, it's all bad. So this will happen in phases. This will be a series of kind of simultaneous, one hinging off the other events, big events, if this is what we think it is. And I've already heard talk. I was watching, and I know he's a shill, so go ahead and save that part. But I watch everybody to try to see what they're saying. I can tell sometimes, and I'm sure you can too, by what narratives they're trying to feed us, by the propaganda, which direction they're going to push things in, right? And I was watching Alex Jones, so I was watching some extreme, conspiracy shit. And I was watching mainstream Fox and the other side, CNN and MSNBC. And you know what the propaganda line is right now, guys? And I'm telling you, this ought to make you straighten your ass up if you haven't yet. They're talking about Trump hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything, right? This is his fault. Or the other side saying they're trying to use this against him. He needs to take action. This is they're trying to pin this on Trump, right? So both sides, man, are pushing the same damn agenda. They're just painting it up pretty in a different way. And guess what that is? You know what action they want him to take? They want him to declare a national emergency, guys. And they're even making statements to convince you it's a psychological tactic, right? You know how when you're a kid or something and your brother or something won't let you have a bite of his candy bar or his candy, and you're like, that's cool, I don't want it anyways, right? Reverse psychology, right? They're doing that to us. They're saying the people will be pissed off if he don't declare a national emergency, right? So they're making you think, and you're sitting at home like, damn right, I'll be mad, right? No, you won't, you damn idiot, right? Nobody's asking for that. They're trying to convince you that you want that. They're telling you what you want instead of you telling them what you want, right? And that's how you know when both sides are saying the same thing, but just a little bit different. And I've reached out to a few friends today, and I told them, a lot of the things I've found. And I'll show you some videos today to kind of support what I'm about to say, that you haven't seen yet. I would recommend, and this is the truth, I would recommend that everybody stock up on some stuff. Okay? Stock up on some stuff. And I'm being really serious right now. Get you some food. Get you some rice. Get you some water. Get you some first aid. Make sure that if things, go to hell in a handbasket, that you can take care of you and yours. All right? Please do that for me. One of the things that I've always seen associated with this stuff, when, economies collapse, because you got to think, when the economy collapses, that's your country that's collapsed. That's the government that's collapsed, okay? They go hand in hand, right? And we've seen when the Soviet Union collapsed, some of us did. I was a little feller, but, it does happen. It does happen. So, and nobody can bail us out. All right? We're the ones who bail everyone else out when this happens. Right? So no one will bail us out. The whole world economy is hinged on us. And I've always told people that's why it will happen here. That's why when the show yesterday we were talking about Babylon has fallen and the merchants are weeping over Babylon. That's why, man. Because it's the world economy that hinges off of it. So just, I know a lot of myself, I live very, very day to day, right? Here in Cincinnati, and I can show you also, Ohio has declared a state of emergency, all right? Ohio has already declared a state of emergency. And I live in between Cincinnati and Dayton is where I live, actually. Right here, right? Cincinnati mayor declares state of emergency amid coronavirus outbreak. So in Dayton, they already have cases here in Dayton, at least one, and others being tested. The food pantries here are already shutting down. We have already been out of medical supplies and bleach, hand sanitizer, all of those type of things. We've already been out of those, but now, right now, we're starting to run out of things like beans and stuff like that. Food is starting to empty off the shelves. So, it would be a beautiful place if everyone in this country would pull together right now. And if you had the opportunity to prepare, you would. And you would help those who can't. That would be beautiful if we all could come together that way. It would be beautiful if our government wasn't lying fucking snakes. And, they told us the truth about the situation. And instead of trying to capitalize on it to further their agenda of a police state and depopulation, they would help us and help us prepare and things like that. But that's not going to happen. That's not the reality in which we live. So I'm telling everybody to please, prepare, get yourself together. If you can help anyone, do it, do it. Please, be a good person. Don't think that saving your money is going to help you, is my point. Because when these things, the further this goes, all right? And you won't know it, man. One thing that's always stuck out to me, and I'm going to sound really weird and conspiracy here, but I'm telling you, it's important, and I feel like it is in my soul. I was watching the X-Files. Remember when the X-Files went off the air for a long time, and then they came back for 6 episodes or some shit like that? Anybody remember that? Anybody in the chat room remember that? Well, they were talking about the event, the reset, and and it was like one of the most revealing TV series I ever had. Now I've ever seen. So I wonder if we can even find that line. But they say and this is what's crazy. They talk about the markets crashing. I wonder if it's that. Here, I would love to find this little clip. I wish I would have had this ready. Let's see if it's down here. Let's see if we can find this. Okay. Well, I would love to find it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it while I'm on here with you guys. Return. See if I can find that, man. Okay, well, in the episode, and I will find it, the end of the world. Yeah, the end of the world. Let's see if this says it here. Oh, come on, man.
Relationship ended up having close to 6 the last time, I think.
All right. Okay, basically, so that's enough of that. But I'll show you when I get a chance, or maybe the next clip I show you, I'll find it before you come back. So the X-Files talking about the end of the world and all these things taking place, and they look at each other and they say it'll start on a Friday, right? It'll start with the markets crashing. I mean, they're literally telling you how all this shit begins. Well, has anybody noticed that Trump's weird ass little travel ban to Europe? It doesn't start till Friday, right? And how we've seen them kind of biding their time. Like, it's already met the criteria of a pandemic a while ago. But I told you guys, because we had that document I just shown you from the Anon, that they were waiting. Yeah, Friday the 13th. That's fucking right, Tim. That's right, bro. That's what I'm trying to get the point across here. So you might have a few days to get your things together. And I'm not saying it'll all hit the fan Friday the 13th. But I'm saying watch the stock markets, okay? Watch the stock markets Friday the 13th, because that could be a very, very significant day. It could be a very, very significant day. And, you know, that's your cash. If you save cash, after that crash, it will be worthless, dude. It will be worthless. It will be paper. It isn't backed by gold. It's just debt. That's what's got this country in the situation it's in now, is the big banks, right, creating this debt. All right? So if you sit there and say, well, I got a couple of things, but I got $2,000 in the bank. Big whoop, man. Big whoop, man. That $2,000 is going to do nothing. It's going to do nothing, right? It is a significant day, absolutely. And when I show you the Trump clip, okay, which I will here in a few minutes, when I show you the Trump clip, I'll find the clip I'm talking about and let you see, because it's shocking. I'm serious. You know, they came back to do like 6 episodes and talk about the end of the world. I've never been into the show before, but for some reason I ended up catching that one, and it stuck with me for a long time. It was so weird and eerie when I watched it. Like, damn. The way they filmed it, they were talking right to the camera and everything. It's just, you know how this stuff is. Sometimes I guess it can get to a person, but that was one of them times where my heart was like, pay attention. So, and now here we are, right? And then when he said that today, that the ban wouldn't start till Friday, and we've been watching these markets plunge, and they almost got back up and looked like they were going to be healthy again, and then all of a sudden, what'd they do? They released a tsunami of news saying shit just hit the fan, and it got way worse. You know, so everybody do that for me at least. You know, I've shown you, man, Event 201, they were prepping for this. I've shown you, you know, when they start declaring the states of emergency, why they're doing it. And I've also shown you, which I'll show you now, right? I'll show you now these checkpoints and the National Guard, and I'll show you the docks and stuff where food is coming in. I'm going to show you that right now. And you'll see that I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth, and let's all, and if anybody is well off or has what they need out there, consider supporting me and helping me, not even for this show, so me and my little ones can get prepped and prepared. Like I said, they're said here, the food pantry's already down. I don't know what your life is like, but some of us, regularly go there. The grocery stores are running out. So, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to create panic or fear, but I'm trying to tell you now, if there's no food coming in, right? If there's none coming in, then what's in there might be all that's in there, and there might be not too much after that, right? There might be warehouses where there's, a couple shipments more. I really feel like they've been prolonging it till this point. I told you, mid-January. Then they release it on, 3/11, which is 33, right? And then put it all off till Friday the 13th. There's some significance in this, guys. And we also know what season we're in, right? Nobody's, sitting around kidding themselves like we didn't see the great sign in heaven, September 23rd, 2017. You understand? So, having 10 G's in the bank is not going to, it's not going to keep you alive, dude. Because it's just paper when it all begins, it's just paper. And so if we can help other people out, we should. If you're prepped up, start helping others. If you can help others, do it locally, your neighbors, whatever, because I'm telling you, not doing it could backfire in a major way on you also. Keep in mind that no matter if you're good or not, it's really good to get your neighbors together and stuff, because those are the people who live around you, and you guys will be able to take care of each other. Look out for each other, right? Kind of watch each other's backs. And if they're starving, who do you think they're going to come to first with me? And that's what I'm saying. If the United States as a whole, the people that can take care of it, and help the ones who can't, that would keep people from when the food's off the shelves, from going in someone's house and trying to feed their kids and stuff like that. That would keep those type of things from happening. And don't think that even if this government of ours sets up places for help, that they're going to be a benevolent place. Matter of fact, I feel like they have been planning these agendas for so long to lead us into situations just like this. That way we will have no other option but to turn to them for help. All right? It's to turn to them for help, And in case you ain't noticed, a lot of people who supposedly come down with this or enter a lot of these places never come out, man. Never come out. And convenient political opponents, convenient whistleblowers, it's so... Use your brain, use your brain. You don't have to be scared to be aware. And I think it's absolute stupidity to sit around and pretend like these things aren't happening. That's just me. It's absolute stupidity to sit around and say, no. When you're watching it, you're seeing it unfold, right in front of your face. And like we were talking about yesterday, there's a few other things that I've seen recently that have kind of perked my ears up also. Now, we know that this is the beginning of a series of things, right? I've heard a lot of talk of basically getting Trump out of there. Now, as you know, I'm no big Trump supporter or anything like that. Actually can't really stand the guy. But if he is the last president, and he is, being compared to Cyrus, the son of perdition, and all of these things, did I also not tell you that right around this time, next couple months or so would be the time to watch to see if there was some type of attempt on him? So it's really weird that they're starting to put those kind of things out there again also. Not to mention that this famine, pestilence, plague, and all of that It begets violence, right? Peace is taken from the earth as a result, and a lot of people die, according to Revelation. So that's another thing. So sow some good seeds now, help some people now. That way you got some good karma, and you got God on your side. And not just that, this is all followed by eventually a major asteroid collision is one of the next calamities to happen. And what's really weird is we've got a huge ass asteroid, and I was talking about it yesterday, and the way that they described it is what really got my attention. In the Bible, it's described as a mountain set ablaze, and it lands in the ocean, kills a third of men, a third of the marine life, right? And it's a big event. Well, they are warning us. They started warning us. I think February 21st was the first time I seen anything about it. So they gave us a 40-day warning, which is just like in the Bible. They give a 40-day warning, which I thought was weird. So is it a coincidence? Maybe, right? It could be nothing. And let me pull it up just so I can show you what I'm talking about for those of you that don't know. But we're in that season, so, we are. And let's see if I can find it right here. Right here. Yeah. This mountain set ablaze. Look, a mountain-sized asteroid will appear as a slow-moving star next month. So this mountain set ablaze, right? It'll look like a slow-moving star. Does that not seem like a mountain set ablaze? It looks like a mountain, and a slow-moving star is something burning through the sky, and this thing's extremely close too, right? Extremely close, and it's potentially hazardous, and it'll pass by here April 29th, guys, and it's 2.5 miles across. And what's strange about that also is that according to Gil Broussard in his research of the PX system, it's March, April of 2021 where that event will actually take place. Well, when it happened the last time, the Asian guest star, they seen it first about 13 months before it actually appeared, and it appeared to them like a bright star shooting across the sky, right? So do I think this is going to come crashing into us? No, I actually don't. But I think it's very significant and a sign of how close we are to all of these things actually unfolding. And, even when we looked at the gematria around the name COVID-19 and coronavirus, what did we see? Like Trump, blood moon. And if you guys remember, I did that show in 2019, January, on the 70th anniversary of Israel and the super blood moon. And that the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that was a signaling their release. And that was immediately followed by epic flooding, right, which destroyed large amounts of crops, right? And then we seen Ebola bubble up, measles bubble up. And, now it's kind of all led us to where we are now with, things like Arctic ice turning blood red. We just seen water in the Strait of Hormuz turn blood red. And we have locust plagues literally devouring all of the food in East Africa and China, India. These things are, really starting to rev up, man. And like I said, I'm not one to be afraid. I'm not one to sit and ring the alarm. And, no knock against other YouTubers. I don't even want to say none of their names because I don't want to be mean. But there's a couple of, there's one guy in particular. And I love watching his channel, man. He's good. But he comes on there, at least I feel like once every other month, and says, "This is it, America. This is it." And he pushes a lot of prepping stuff. I don't want to be that dude. And I'm not trying to be that dude. That's why I'm saying, get your shit together. Yeah, Naughty Beaver predicts the same time. He sure does. And I've been doing this just as long, if not longer, than Naughty Beaver in some way, shape, or form. I haven't been on YouTube as long as Naughty Beaver, but I did podcasting for about 2 years before I came here. And what got me to listen to Naughty Beaver is we were both talking about the great sign in heaven, to be honest. And there's a Nostradamus prophecy that talks about Mercury and the sun hiding Venus, and this being the revealing, basically, of a Messiah or Messiah-like figure. I can't think of the actual name or the word for word, the prophecy. But March 6, 2021, which is 1,260 days later, which is precisely the amount of days. My son's so cute. He looks like a little devil, don't he? Looks like a little devil, don't he? In his little... yeah, he is cute. I love him to death. And that's why I want to make sure that I'm prepped up. So I have 3 of them. 3 beautiful boys. I'm very, very blessed. God bless me 3 times. 3 times. Beautiful kids. So, and that's, and I'm telling, I know you guys are blessed too. You guys are blessed too. Maybe not with the same exact blessing as me, but you have people you love. You have people you love. Most of us all love somebody, something. It could be a dog, man. It doesn't matter, right? But you don't want that dog to starve. You don't want your wife to suffer. You don't want those things to happen. I'm trying to tell you right now, you don't want those things to happen. And this isn't to throw fear into you. This is just being smart. Getting ahead of something that you can see that is obviously unfolding. Obviously. Sure, I'm showing you a lot of coincidences that are happening. These may or may not add up to anything, right? That's the truth. They may or they may not add up to anything. I think it's strange. Yeah. They may or may not add up to anything. But I can show you what is adding up to something right now. Right now. You guys remember this old dude talking about the military checkpoints? I'll play like 30 seconds of this and then show you what he's talking about. Let me make sure you got audio. I apologize. Promise some evidence. Here you go.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is an impromptu, extemporaneous upload this morning. Today is March 5th. It's Thursday, 2020. I'm Roy Potter. And I got a call last night, a very frantic call from a friend of mine there who lives in Las Vegas. His name's Brand Thornton. Most of you may know him. And he was very frantic, very upset, really upset.
If you guys have ever seen somebody who looks like they're lying or full of shit, this dude doesn't look like that to me. He doesn't strike me. And he's obviously has military experience from the words he's using and stuff. I apologize for interrupting, but I just want to point that out, man.
Heard and saw the video that he had sent to me. I got pretty concerned, not direly concerned, but I thought after looking at all the possibilities here this morning that I would go ahead and make this upload. This is not a DUI checkpoint, okay? That's not what this is. He sent me a video of somebody who saw the military setting up, I don't know if it's a National Guard unit, regular Army, I don't think it's Air Force. Pretty sure it's probably a National Guard unit or possibly a regular Army unit. It's north of Las Vegas on I-15, just off I-15 at the junction of I-215 and Range Road, which is northeast Las Vegas area on I-15.
All right, there you go. Now, check this out.
People can see this. We got a friggin' tank. They got all kinds of bullshit. They got fucking radars out here. What the fuck's going on out here?
Sir, you're not allowed to be on this installation.
I'm not on your fucking installation, bitch.
I'm gonna
Go get them.
Whoa. I should have watched this a little bit more with sound or something before I played it. Wow, man. Whoa. Sorry for the language. I didn't have the sound on when I watched it. I mean, but if you can't take a little bit of cussing, you're damn sure not going to be able to take the things that are going on. So, literally. Old dude telling us all about it, describing all of it, right? Here it is. Here it is.
See this? We got a friggin' tank. They got all kinds of bullshit. They got fucking radars out here. What the fuck's going on out here?
Sir, you're not allowed to be on this installation.
I'm not on your fucking installation, bitch.
I'm gonna
Go get them.
The bitch was a little much, wasn't it?
Look at this shit. This is all. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. It's bad. 215 Range Road, just outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. Can't turn your phone while live. Anyhow, they got fucking tanks out here. They got everything out here. They got all kinds of radar bullshits going on. There's supposed to be somebody fucking coming out here to talk to me. They told me to leave. Fuck them. I don't give a rat's ass. Where are they supposed to come and talk to me?
Now, do you see what I'm saying, man? You know? Do you see why I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to pump fear in your head, man. But this shit ain't normal. You know? Here we go.
Sir.
What?
Training exercise, sir. How can I help you?
Okay, has this got anything to do with the coronavirus?
No, sir.
You sure about that?
Yes, sir.
It's a training exercise. How come you're so close to I-15?
It's just where our facility is located, sir.
I think it's bullshit. I think you guys are up to something and you don't even know what it is.
I'm just a sergeant, sir. I don't know
I
anything
know,
more
you
than
don't know. You're too young to know anything that's going on. You guys.
Yeah, that guy is full of shit. You can tell, man. Anybody who's ever studied, you know, like what the police and intelligence agencies use to determine whether you're lying, because our left brain uses our logic, our memory, right? And our right side is our creative side of our brain, and our eyes will point to the opposite side, you know, because our brain is like cross-wired basically. So when your eyes are looking down to the left, that means you're coming from the right side, which is the creative side of your brain, because you're formulating a lie, you're creating a story, right? So wow, you know, this guy's calling them out on their stuff, man. He didn't have to call the girl a bitch though. I mean, that was a little bit much. You know, she's not responsible for this. Matter of fact, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I have no problem with anyone in the military. I think that, I remember being a young kid signing up for the Navy. Like, I think that these people, they're deceived by that great lie we're all deceived by, man. That America's great and we're free and these wonderful liberties. And, you know, despite all its flaws even, dude, I don't hate America. You know, I don't. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world, to be honest. You know, I don't. I don't hate the people here. I just can't stand the damn government that sold us out. You know, and you can see why these mystery schools and occultists look at us and call us the profane. Or these Zionists, you know, call us going dogs. You can see why. We've proven them right. We've proven them right. You know, and it's like a big kick in the nuts, if you ask me. It really is. To see that we were given a chance for true liberty here. You may not agree with me, but, you know, when the Founding Fathers created this country, they gave it was ours to lose. It was ours to lose. And we gave it away. We gave it away in every way, shape, and form. I mean, they literally created a damn near perfect Constitution, Bill of Rights, these type of things to keep outside forces from coming in and doing what they've done. And I mean, it took almost 100 years for it to really go sideways, you know, with the creation of Washington, D.C., and America becoming a corporation, which the president is the CEO of. You know, so it took a while. But then by, 1913 and 1933 and, the Federal Reserve, and then gold not being behind the dollar anymore, it was all over. It was all done but the crying by that point. And then you guys know the final stage had began, 9/11, right? That's when it was the implementation of the surveillance and the police state that we know now. So when you see, something as significant as 3/11, the 33, and Friday the 13th, don't tell me that this shit don't mean anything. Don't tell me it don't, because I've watched it mean something. I just named 2 dates, right? 1913, right? There's your 13, right? And then 1933, there's your 33, right? 2 of the most significant times in American history, where we lost our shit. Or 9/11 and this COVID-19, right? So there's they're significant in these things, right? They understand. I've talked about, Tiamat or Cthulhu's or Kundalini, right? The serpent energy that these occultists use, and they use, the moon and all of that too, the planets, numbers, geometric shapes, right? Because it's the code of this matrix or whatever that we find ourselves in, and they use it against us. So these things are very significant. And you think, well, what does that have to do with government, John? Laws, man. Come on now. They can't predict when. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. Especially if they release the damn thing. They know exactly when. So, don't tell me no. Go look for yourself before you start calling me crazy and all that. Before you start calling me a conspiracy theorist, do a little bit of homework, bud. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to scare you or beat you over the head with this stuff. I just want you to hopefully prepare a little bit, man, and to be aware a little bit. I've been doing this a while, and I gotta say, I've seen a lot of scares over the years. Some World War III close calls. Some really significant laws passed that changed things incredibly. Elections, I've seen some really significant things, but I haven't really felt the heat like I have off this one. Because I'm watching, all these things in unison, right? There is, and it's what they don't say is usually the worst parts. What they don't tell you, But what good citizens like this guy, except he needs to respect women, do by showing these videos, by going out and checking these things out, not by taking the news' word for it, and they're telling you the food's all right and all of this, but check this out. Check this out, guys. I don't know. Maybe.
Look, there's no boats. There's no nothing. There's just this stack of cans. That's it. Now, I'm going to take y'all around to another part of the ports to show y'all how empty this is. Because this is the stuff that we buy, the stuff that we shop for in stores. And if there's no cans here, there's no imports. Look at that. You can see all the way over to trucks going on the other side, which lets you know that this is deserted. I should have took a video of the other port that I just came from, which was the China port called Yangming. There's no, it's just as empty as this one. There's nothing going on. And there's no trucks here. And this place is usually having hundreds of trucks. Look, there's one. That's an empty can that they're bringing. So mostly it's like empty cans are coming in and there's nothing going out. So y'all better buy whatever y'all gonna buy, because there's no telling how long this is gonna go on. And apparently this is supposed to be because of the coronavirus. Now, this is a real view. This is the real deal of what's going on. This is not something that's seen on the news. This is me out here on the field doing this, letting y'all know what's going on. That truck, it probably got a load, but look at this. This place is empty. These things are tall as buildings and stacked a lot, but it's not happening today. So I'm walking around to show y'all what's going on. Look at this. This is open. This is never open. I can never walk through here like this. Look at that. That's just a few. It's usually stacked like real tall and a lot. Look at this. All this empty space. This is no products coming in. So if y'all want to know for sure what's happening with the coronavirus, this is what's happening.
There you go, man. I'm not bullshitting
It's completely
you. You know, I'm not bullshitting you. This is what I'm trying to say. You know, when you go to like a super center like Walmart, it's understandable they can talk about supply and demand. The whole world is in supply and demand for shit like hand sanitizer, bleach, right, disinfectant wipes, those type of things, right? That's explainable. It's understandable. But when I started seeing things like beans and stuff disappearing, you know, those are things that are replaced on a regular. I was a manager at a grocery store for a few years when I was younger. So I know how the ordering and all of that works. And, you know, that means there's no trucks coming in and nothing's being replaced. You know, and then you look at these, like I said, a couple weeks ago, this wasn't the case. I talked to my friend in Louisiana who works at one of these places, and he said, you know, there wasn't a lot, but things were coming in. And then just recently I talked to somebody else who, you know, does this as well, and they said nothing. And I started scouring for the footage, and sure enough, you know, there is nothing coming in. So, like I said, man, when things take ugly turns like this, I'm trying to tell you, your money is fucking worthless, dude. Your money is worthless. So don't think, but if you save 10 grand back, anybody's gonna care. You know, it's as good. It's kindling at that point. You know, it's kindling at that point. All the money in the world can't save you in this type of situation, right? It's on you having enough wherewithal to make sure you have adequate medical supplies. You know, first aid. Save your damn antibiotics, your Tylenols, all of that, man. Gather it up. Get it together. You know, make sure, fill up water jugs and milk jugs, you know, things like that, man. And you can boil it. You can filter it. You know, go buy tablets to purification tablets. You can get cheap water filters. Me and Joe did a show on here, prepping for shit hit the fan like a week ago, and it was really good with a lot of ideas on what you can do in these situations of buying beans, buying rice, right? Making sure you have oils, lard to make these kind of things stretch. Okay? You know, a lot of the places that sell MREs and all of that, they're sold all the way out, right? So now it's going to have to be, using your know-how, and I really hope that people will help other people out. That's what I'm really worried about. That not just like me and my little ones, but I'm worried about everyone that's in that situation, because I know how many people in America live hand to mouth, dude, day to day, right? They struggle to pay their bills. They struggle to get groceries, and then when they're shutting down the places that kind of alleviate that for them, like food pantries, right? Like those type of places, man. That puts them in a really tough spot just to get by, let alone prepare. How can they prepare if they can't even get by each day? And when it's gone, it's gone. Nobody's going to come off of it because they're going to want their family to survive. So I truly hope, people help their neighbors. Help those in need, man. You cannot take this money with you. You can't, dude. You can't. And I know a lot of people that think that, as if anything in the bank's going to even be there when the country goes under. Yeah, right. You guys have heard of the buyouts, right? They're doing buy-ins now, which means they take all of the money from the people in the banks, the families in the banks when banks go under. You better understand how it's all been restructured, right under your nose, seriously. And this isn't to scare you. This is hopefully a sobering video. You got the National Guard rolling in everywhere. I just showed you them set up in Nevada, chemical, biological, nuclear, right here, Florida. And this video should be viral. It should be viral. How many people do you think have seen what we've looked at? Know that they've been practicing for a pandemic and then creating orders for civil deployment by the National fucking Guard, who you see in the videos, right? Last October. And you see here with the graders and the backhoes and the dozers, the digging equipment, right? The digging equipment, you better get hip to what they're digging for, man. What do you think they're digging for? Because I can show you what they're doing in other countries when they're digging. That's why they're digging. In Iran, China, that's where they're Japan, that's why they're digging. You feel me? You feel me? So, sow some good seeds right now. Sow some good seeds. Do some goodwill. Get other people hip to this. You know what I mean? Get other people hip to this. The only thing you can do, man, is ring the alarm, man. And I'm not saying it to alarm them. I'm saying to make them aware. Is all this a damn coincidence? We got these biblical events, right? 4 horsemen, it's famine, pestilence, plague, right? Peace taken from the earth. Then a mountain set ablaze, right? All of these things, man. Followed by World War and then a great star, and then we're seeing all these things. We've been talking about all these things for a while now. We watched the Great American Eclipse, cover America in darkness at midday. Judgment in the Bible over a nation every time that happens. And USA is Babylon. The next time it happens, 7 years exactly. Right? Not a coincidence, man. The great sign in heaven, never seen before, never be seen again. This perfect alignment with this son that's being born just so happens to be in the womb of Virgo for 9 months. Come on, man. No coincidence. Or, 3.5 years later, to the date, Comet Inky will be shown in the sky, revealed by the fire of Mercury, just like the Nostradamus prophecy. Or how Nostradamus told us that the conflict with Iran would start this series of events, right? The Arab prince, Sun, Mars, Venus, and Leo, right? Persia, very nearly 1 million men, right? And what did we see? The Arab prince, Saudi Arabia, the oil tankers attacked by a drone, right? Modern day Persia is Iran, and their armies of 850,000 people, And what did it say about Trump? That he was the false trumpet, concealing the madness. Concealing the madness. And what is he doing? He's saying, be cool, it's all good, But we also know that this son of perdition, will take a fatal wound to the head and live 42 months in. 42 months in. So, by my calculations, that'd put us around April or May, right? Around April or May, maybe March, but March to May is when I say it would be like that potential sweet spot for if that's going to happen, it would happen. And now we're hearing people like Alex Jones talk about they're about to try to take him out, which let's not even pretend like he's not a shill, right? He's got Illuminati cards too, right? Agent in place and shit. I mean, the guy was a damn comedian that pretended to die so he could come, kill the real Alex Jones and do this. And then they're literally throwing it right in your face. Mountain-sized asteroid will appear next month. Move like a slow-moving star. A mountain set ablaze, right? And it just so happens to be exactly 1 year or 13 months, basically. A little less. Just like when the Asian guest star was seen, like a blazing star in the sky, before the PX event happened then. So these are a lot of very, very significant things, in my opinion. Now, I do want, before we jump into some of these other things that are happening across the globe, I want to show you, man. It's not just here. I want to show you a quick clip from Trump's announcement that just took place tonight.
My fellow Americans, tonight I want to speak with you about our nation's unprecedented response to the coronavirus outbreak that started in China and is now spreading throughout the world. Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have been in frequent contact with our allies, and we are marshaling the full power of the federal government and the private sector to protect the American people. This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history. I am confident that by counting and continuing to take these tough measures, we will significantly reduce the threat to our citizens, and we will ultimately and expeditiously defeat this virus. From the beginning of time, nations and people have faced unforeseen challenges, including large-scale and very dangerous health threats. This is the way it always
I apologize.
Was, always will be.
Looks like I got an echo. Sorry about that.
Respond, and we are responding with great speed and professionalism. Our team is the best anywhere in the world. At the very start of the outbreak, we instituted sweeping travel restrictions on China and put in place the first federally mandated quarantine in over 50 years. We declared a public health emergency and issued the highest level of travel warning on other countries as the virus spread its horrible infection. And taking early, intense action, we have seen dramatically fewer cases of the virus in the United States than are now present in Europe. The European Union failed to take the same precautions and restrict travel from China and other hotspots. As a result, a large number of new clusters in the United States were seeded by travelers from Europe. After consulting with our top government health professionals, I have decided to take several strong but necessary actions to protect the health and well-being of all Americans. To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight. These restrictions will be adjusted subject to conditions on the ground. There will be exemptions for Americans who have undergone appropriate screenings, and these prohibitions will not only apply to the tremendous amount of trade and cargo, but various other things as we get approval. Anything coming from Europe to the United States is what we are discussing. These restrictions will also not apply to the United Kingdom. At the same time, we are monitoring the situation in China and South Korea, and as their situation improves, we will reevaluate the restrictions and warnings that are currently in place for a possible early opening. Earlier this week, I met with the leaders of health insurance industry who have agreed to waive all co-payments for coronavirus treatments, extend insurance coverage to these treatments, and to prevent surprise medical billing. We are cutting massive amounts of red tape to make antiviral therapies available in record time. These treatments will significantly reduce the impact and reach of the virus. Additionally, last week I signed into law an $8.3 billion funding bill to help CDC and other government agencies fight the virus and support vaccines, treatments, and distribution of medical supplies. Testing capabilities are expanding rapidly day by day. We are moving very quickly. The vast majority of Americans, the risk is very, very low. Young and healthy people can expect to recover fully and quickly if they should get the virus. The highest risk is for elderly population with underlying health conditions. The elderly population must be very, very careful. In particular, we are strongly advising that nursing homes for the elderly suspend all medically unnecessary visits. In general, older Americans should also avoid non-essential travel in crowded areas. My administration is coordinating directly with communities with largest outbreaks, and we have issued guidance on school closures, social distancing, and reducing large gatherings. Smart action today will prevent the spread of the virus tomorrow.
There you go. I mean, that's about the gist of that, right? So let me show you some things, though. I got this today from a subscriber, and it's a letter here. It says, this afternoon, there will be an email sent from CBS letting everyone know the measures we're taking from the coronavirus outbreak. Starting tomorrow, Thursday, March 12th, everyone on our team will be working from home until further notice. You will work your normal shift with your start and stop times, lunch and breaks. If you have not worked at home in the past, please make sure you try and log in before your shift starts. Anyone who does not have internet or is unable to work from home will be expected to report to the office. If you're going to be out, you'll need to call out time. And this is basically talking about having your shit ordered, your prescriptions ordered, right? They'll be doing it. These items will be sent out each week instead of daily. Attach items that will be mailed, including cover sheet, right? So there's one, right? And then I got this from a subscriber also. This is in Utah. Over the weekend, we learned, as did many of you, the patient with COVID-19 was securely transported to Intermountain Medical Center here in Utah. And This is talking about how a student was quarantined, 17 others were tested. Salt Lake City, this is the school district saying that, and I got an update from them today. Let me pull this up here. I'm not going to show you because I don't want to give away their identity, but I'll tell you what they said. Okay. From the school, 2 more people with the virus here in Salt Lake, and now have a 3rd case up in Park City. Yes, 2 more people in Salt Lake and then a 3rd case in Park City, Utah. So, these are some things I haven't seen in the news, though, right? Mississippi health officials report their first positive case of coronavirus. I know that it was saying there's 12 states that are in a state of emergency, but there's 13 now because, where's it at here? Where do I got it here? Yeah. Arizona is now state number 13. Arizona governor declares state of emergency on coronavirus with 9 cases so far. The governor, Doug Ducey or Duce or whatever, declared a state of emergency on Wednesday over the novel coronavirus, saying he was not taking any chances as the state expects more cases. So far in Arizona, 9 people have tested positive for the virus known as COVID-19. The latest is a man in his 90s. And he says, this is an important proactive action. To date, we've not had a community spread at a nursing home or elder care facility, but we could. And if that did happen, we wanted the Arizona Department of Health, DHS, to be equipped to act with urgency. And every time I see one of these, state of emergencies, this is where my mind goes, y'all. Right? This is where my mind goes, right? For the support of civil authorities, right? And the only way that it's enacted is by the president calling a national emergency, right? Or the governors declaring state of emergency. And it's literally in response to a major disaster or emergency. And I can show you literally where it tells you that the governors have to do that. Doesn't even give requests for federal assistance, will come with little warning within the United States. And yes, that the Marine Corps Reserve or to active duty for a continuous period respond to governor's request, right? By responding to a declaration of major disaster or emergency, the governor's request. And that's exactly what we're seeing, right? Exactly what we're seeing everywhere. You can see here, Iran vice president and 2 cabinet members test positive as the death toll hits 354. Authorities announced that there are some 9,000 confirmed cases across the country. Number of infections climbs across the Middle East with 262 in Qatar and 189 in Bahrain. I think I got something else that went on here too as well. Let me see if it's right here. Yeah. Dozens of Iranians die from methanol poisoning in attempt to fight coronavirus. I'll show you this right here also. And spraying this shit everywhere and they're killing people with it. This is literally poison. And people are dying from the damn methanol instead of the coronavirus. Is that not crazy, man? You've seen them spraying this shit in China, too. Look at that. Were the people were they sucking this shit in? How do all these people die of it? Or, at least 44 people have died of methanol poisoning in Iran. 44 people, man. They've killed 44 people with trying to stop it. And how many have died from the actual virus here? Let's see that. Death toll hits 354. Okay. Well, still, 354 people have died from the virus, and they've killed another 44 with their methanol, man. So 400 people have actually died as a result of this shit. And you can see the world map here. The whole damn thing's red now. Despite alcohol being banned in most of the Islamic Republic, it's responsible for hundreds of patients being hospitalized because of fake rumors that it would save drinkers from the virus that killed 291 and infected more than 8,000, the state news agency reported. So they're literally telling people if you get drunk, you won't get sick. Shit. I know a lot of people that are good. And like I said, this is more of the convenient, political deaths. Dude, we have seen nothing but a bunch of this stuff like that. Who was top of the health administrator, I think is what, I can't think of the title now. The health administrator, some crap like that for Iran. He got sick, man. There was another Iranian official that died, and now you see the vice president and 2 cabinet members test positive. Very strange, man. South Korea's trace, test, and treat approach. They seem to be handling this thing better than anyone else across the world. They're literally testing everyone. They've got these like drive-through centers where you can go get tested and shit. It's very crazy. Negative pressure room. One of nearly 20,000 people being tested every day for coronavirus in South Korea. Her samples quickly shipped off to a nearby laboratory where the staff are working 24 hours a day to process the results. Look at that, man. They learned the lessons from MERS. South Korea must be doing it right, doing something right, I guess. Coronavirus, Japan scales back triple disaster memorials. The 9th anniversary of earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear meltdown came as Japan reported biggest one-day rise in infections. Look at that, guys. So they literally, have the earthquake. I mean, that's crazy. All these on the same day. And you can't tell me there's not anything significant about, the 311, the 33. The coronavirus outbreak has forced Japan to scale down events marking 9 years since a powerful earthquake and tsunami killed more than 18,000 people along its northeast coast. An annual public service in Tokyo to remember the victims of the March 2011 disaster was among a growing number of events called off. One day after the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said sports, cultural, and other large gatherings must be postponed for another 10 days in an attempt to contain the spread. The main memorial service at the capital's National Theater is usually attended by members of the imperial family, politicians, and the relatives of people who died. The anniversary of the earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear meltdown in Fukushima came as Japan reported 59 new cases of COVID-19, its biggest one-day rise since the start of the outbreak. The total infections in Japan have risen to 1,278, including 696 passengers and crew from the Diamond Princess cruise ship, which was quarantined in the port of Yokohama last month, and 14 people repatriated from China at the start of the outbreak. Yeah, their death toll as of Wednesday stood at 19 from the virus. Italy shuts down all shops and restaurants as coronavirus cases rise.
I numeri ci dicono che stiamo avendo una crescita importante dei contagi, delle persone ricoverate in terapia intensiva e subintensiva e anche, ahimè, delle persone decedute. La decisione giusta oggi è di restare a casa. Il futuro nostro dell'Italia è nelle nostre mani e queste mani devono essere mani responsabili, oggi più che mai. Ognuno deve fare la propria parte. Ed è per questo quindi che da oggi varranno su tutto il territorio della penisola queste misure che noi abbiamo già predisposto per la parte settentrionale, come sapete, Lombardia più provincia, in più province, giusto qualche giorno fa.
So they locked down 60 million people, y'all. I mean, literally, was it just yesterday? I was saying 12 or 16 million people, 60 million people. Italy all but put a halt to normal life, paring the economy down to just essential services in a desperate bid to stem the advance of the deadly coronavirus. Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte ordered all shops in the country to close except for grocery stores and pharmacies until March 25th. Public transportation as well as financial and postal services will continue, but the country's normally vibrant restaurants, cafes, and bars will be shut. So factories can continue operating, but only with precautions, the premier said. So, you know, things hitting hard everywhere, man. All the countries, and you can see right here, this is about a horseshit site, but they're supposed to have the right numbers. WooFlu.live. Oh, they've actually changed it to COVID-19info.live. But you can see here, guys, the numbers confirmed. 126,000 infected, 53,000 deaths, 4,600. My ass. Recovered, 69,000 basically. So, you know, and look at that crazy spike, right? This crazy spike that we've seen. And I would love to know if this last spike was on, you know, Thursday. I know that they had all but calmed the masses and the markets looked like they were getting ready to recover, and then bam, you know, bam. All of a sudden they said, oh, it's really bad now. It's really bad now. And you can see, man, the United States is red, just like China, dude. Just like Italy. You know, so I expect to see similar measures taken here. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. You know, we've watched how China's handled it. You see how Italy's handling it. And if we're in a similar situation, how the fuck do you think our corrupt-ass politicians are going to deal with it? You know? They're not seeing dollar signs. They're seeing prison bars, you know? Seriously. And that's why we got the video of, you know, them setting up freaking tanks and shit under your nose, right? Or all the ports empty, you know? And I'll show them one more time before we get out of here. Or chemical and biological response teams rolling in town, you know, equipped to dig big ass holes. How about that? You know, how about that, dude? India suspends most visas as the World Health Organization says coronavirus is a pandemic. India to suspend visas starting Friday the 13th. Travelers from countries including Italy to be quarantined. And a lot of these quarantines are not voluntary, dude. You know, and they can keep you as long as they need to. See here, the Ministry of Health, all existing visas except diplomatic. Of course, right? If you're a diplomat, you can do whatever you want. Official UN international organizations employment project visas stand suspended till the 15th of April, 2020. That will come into effect on March 13th. Chaos as U.S. universities send students home over coronavirus. Students at Harvard and other universities outraged after being given short notice to head home as courses move online. How outraged would you be? And, you know, of course Harvard's going to take care of theirs, right? They're going to look out for them. These Ivy League schools, I wonder how many shitty community colleges are shutting down. That's my question. I know the one here in Dayton, Sinclair, I believe, did, though. St. Patrick's Day parades canceled nationally amid coronavirus outbreak. You know, they're not going to be letting people gather en masse for a while, y'all. You know, and that's just something we should expect, you know.
Hi, I'm Dr. Trace Curry here to tell you about the latest in weight loss, the Reshaped Duo Gastric Balloon. It's a unique two-balloon system designed for better weight loss with no incisions.
Go to journeylight.com or call 259-2555.
Let's see what we got here. Hold on there. Let me give you sound back. I just want to blow your eardrums with the commercial here. $10,000 coronavirus cases now reported in Italy. We already seen Italy, so we'll move on. And then here you go. This is the big thing I think people really need to pay attention to, just in my opinion. Trump's stock market gains have been cut in half by the coronavirus sell-off.
People are panicking. The market is not functioning properly.
So we talk about being in a bear market.
People are panicking. The market is not functioning properly.
What exactly is a bear market? It's when stocks drop 20% from recent highs. When we talk about the overall stock market, we usually look at a broad index like the S&P 500. But individual stocks or commodities can also fall into a bear market if they decline 20%. Now, a bear market is different from a correction. That's a 10% decline. So if the S&P falls into a bear market, it's already had a correction and then fallen another 10%. Since World War II, there have been 13 bear markets for the S&P 500. A bear market doesn't always signal a severe economic downturn. In the last 40 years, 4 bear markets have occurred without a recession. But the drops that coincide with recessions tend to be worse. The good news is bear markets don't tend to last as long as bull markets. The average lasted 362 days and declined nearly 32%. But history shows it takes about a year for stocks to fully bounce back.
Oh, goody. Oh, goody. It's only going to be a year. How about it?
Another volatile day on Wall Street.
How about it? It's only going to be a year, man. We're good, man. We're straight. U.S. stocks have gained 58% since his election day. And he tweeted, highest stock market in history by far. And that's what I'm telling you. Babylon falls at its peak. Later that day, both S&P 500 closed at all-time highs. But on Wednesday, the World Health Organization declared the novel coronavirus pandemic, citing 118,000 cases and more than 4,000 deaths globally. And former Vice President Joe Biden is now the odds-on favorite to get the Democratic nomination. Of course he is, man. They didn't want Bernie the last time, right? It came out in the DNC leaks, right? Those emails that they undermined his ass when it was Hillary running against Trump. So you didn't think they were going to do the same for Obama's pet with dementia? Yeah, of course they are. In the week since Trump's triumphant tweet, the outbreak has disrupted global supply chains, triggered the cancellation of major conferences, public events, and led companies to cancel travel plans and enact emergency work-from-home policies. All those disruptions could dramatically slow economic activity and even usher in a global recession, economists warn, which is why stocks have been hammered recently. Since the market's high on February 19th, the S&P 500 has fallen by 644.8 points, erasing more than half of the gains it had made since Trump was elected in 2016. And that's been his major piss from the podium point, right? Is, hey, look at me. I've made the market so great. The economy's so great. So, not so much now. As of Wednesday, the market's closed. S&P 500 was up 28% since November 8th. Far cry from the 58% it gained. Yeah. And we've seen nothing but plummeting and crashing just literally the last, 2 weeks straight, right? Nothing but drops. All bad as far as that goes, and I you can see here the first U.S. layoffs from the coronavirus are here, and I would imagine that this is coming, and I don't know exactly how many places would be laid off, but I imagine this would be something to expect as well. You're going to have these type of things when nothing's really coming in, when they're shutting down so many places, Some companies will use this as an excuse for layoffs and cutbacks and things of this nature. Hundreds of Americans lost jobs over the past week as the coronavirus outbreak begins to take a deeper toll on the U.S. economy and brings more industries to a standstill. And that's the thing, you know, in my area too, it's really cut back work big time. Like, you know, some places are doing the work from home thing, but in the area I live in, it's nothing but like steel mills and, you know, what you call general labor, skilled labor. And we've, you know, because of this, we're seeing a big time reduction and everything. So, you know, I imagine each area would be affected differently, though, you know. And you can see here the suspending travel from Europe as countries tighten the lockdowns. Financial markets plunged. Italy ordered nearly all businesses to close, and the WHO declared pandemic as the virus spread. And Trump said he would be suspending all travel from Europe for the next 30 days starting Friday. But the restrictions will not apply to Britain, right? And you're damn sure they're not going to apply to Britain. That's our homies. Trump said he was taking strong but necessary action against the virus. Italy ordered businesses to close, tightening its lockdown. Stocks plunge in the absence of clear plans from world leaders. And the global response, the World Health Organization says, is a global pandemic. Washington, Kentucky, New York, and other states move towards stronger measures. Common questions about the coronavirus and how to prepare, and it is going to get worse, said leading American scientists. And I believe now we're seeing, and I didn't have that pulled up, but video from National Guard in like New York and shit like that too. So just for anybody who's come in since, you know, it started here and hasn't got to see it, we're going to flash back one more time here to the military checkpoints here in Las Vegas, Nevada, that, you know, we've seen people talk about here, right, online, and I'll play these real quick for you guys.
Extemporaneous upload this morning. Today is March 5th. It's Thursday, 2020. I'm Roy Potter. And I got a call last night, a very frantic call from a friend of mine there who lives in Las Vegas. His name's Brand Thornton. Most of you may know him. And he was very frantic, very upset, really upset. And when I heard and saw the video that he had sent to me, I got pretty concerned, not direly concerned, but I thought after looking at all the possibilities here this morning that I would go ahead and make this upload. This is not a DUI checkpoint, okay? That's not what this is. He sent me a video of somebody who saw the military setting up, I don't know if it's a National Guard unit, regular Army, I don't think it's Air Force. Pretty sure it's probably a National Guard unit or possibly a regular Army unit. It's north of Las Vegas on I-15, just off I-15 at the junction of I-215 and Range Road, which is northeast Las Vegas area on I-15. Like I say, about a little off I-15, maybe half mile to a mile.
And here's the video.
I don't know if you people can see this. We got a friggin' tank. They got all kinds of bullshit. They got fucking radars out here. What the fuck's going on out here?
Sir, you're not allowed to be on this installation.
I'm not on your fucking installation, bitch.
I'm gonna go get...
Go get them! Look at this shit. This is all, look at that. I don't know if you can see it. It's bad. 215 Range Road, just outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. Can't turn your phone while live. Anyhow.
Whoa, I just seen a comment in the chat. I feel like I've walked in on something I shouldn't have. Something about organic coffee enemas. I'm positive this has nothing to do with the video, but okay. check this out, though. I mean, this is crazy, man. You know, you've got them all set up here, and this dude wants to know what's going on, right? He's obviously pissed as he's calling this woman a bitch, losing his cool. But what I think is more interesting is when the sergeant comes up to him and the answers he's given. He doesn't seem to know his ass from a hole in the ground.
They got fucking tanks out here. They got everything out here. They got all kinds of radar bullshits going on. There's supposed to be somebody fucking coming out here to talk to me. They told me to leave. Fuck them. I don't give a rat's ass. Where are they? Supposed to come and talk to me.
Joe said, I hope you cool that coffee down first.
Look at this. Can you see that big ass fucking tank right there? This is real close to I-15, major highway going in, coming out of Las Vegas, coming in Las Vegas. What the hell's going on out here?
Just having some training exercises. How can I
What?
help you, sir?
What?
Training exercises, sir. How can I help you?
Okay, has this got anything to do with the coronavirus?
No, sir.
You sure about that?
Yes, sir.
It's a training exercise. How come you're so close to I-15?
It's just where our facility is located, sir.
I think it's bullshit. I think you guys are up to something and you don't even know what it is.
I'm just a sergeant, sir. I don't know
I
anything
know,
more
you
than
don't know. You're too young to know anything that's going on. You guys are compartmentalized on a need-to-know basis. That's why you're ignorant, uneducated, unintelligent, and you guys have no idea what's going on.
that. Your opinion, sir.
That's not opinion. That's fucking fact. We know what's going on in this country. I'm a member of 7 militias, dude. This shit better not go live. I'm going to tell you fucking right now. This better not go live.
Roger, sir. Anything else I can help you, sir?
You haven't helped me with anything, have you?
No, sir.
No, you haven't. Where are you from?
I'm from here, sir.
Mr. Cohen, you're from Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Where's this gal from?
From Vegas, sir.
You're from Vegas, too.
The National Guard, then, obviously.
We're going to monitor you guys very closely.
That's fine, sir. Can you go get the cap? Yep, I'll go get the sir. We're going to go get our commander for you, sir.
Okay. It's very suspicious being this close to I-15 and this coronavirus bullshit, which is nothing but crap. It's hoax. And I better not see you guys blocking off that freeway. Because shit'll hit the fan. I promise you. Shit'll hit the fan like you guys have no idea. Is he going to tell me anything different what you've told me?
Probably not, sir. But
So-
he's the one in charge of me. He'll have better answers than me, sir.
Tell him to have a good evening. Telling you folks, something's going on. This is bullshit. They got a training exercise. Why the, excuse me, I'm going to turn this around. Why do you have a training exercise right next to I-15, basically in town? The first gal come and told me I had to get off. I'm on a public friggin' road, okay? A public road, and they're telling me to leave? Everybody, you all need to get ready. This is bullshit. There's no doubt in my mind what they're doing. And this will go live. Okay, over and out.
When he's saying it'll go live, he's talking about they're not just sitting there, y'all. It isn't an exercise. It's an operation. And I would probably agree if I had to guesstimate, what direction this shit's going in. I would actually agree with the crazy ass. Yeah, This is bullshit. Yeah. It'll go live. Yeah, it will. I mean, I'm just being... Yeah, right. It's staging. That's exactly right. They're sitting right there prepping for the moment, man. And that's why they're by the highway. They're going to block that bitch off, y'all. They're going to block that bitch off. You know. And this gentleman's got every right. I don't want to say gentleman. This dude. The whole calling her a bitch thing, that just kind of took a little bit out of me there. Unnecessary, man. Those people are just following orders, dude. You know, they're just following orders. And the truth be told, they probably don't have a clue of what's going on. Let's keep it real here. You know, they don't have a clue. They haven't been, anything they've been told is probably a damn lie. You know what I mean? Oh, we're here for the safety and protection, just in case, right? You know, but, you know, you guarantee commanding officer knows exactly what's going on, exactly what to expect. And I have a really weird suspicion that, despite them doing this, I would love to see, you know, how long our very own National Guard members would be able to maintain the populations, right? How long do they say, nah, I'm not going to do this to my people anymore? You know what I mean? How long till people just don't give a shit, right? And try to overrun them themselves. You know, these are the type of things that, you know, I think about. And that's why I think that if a country got in a severe enough situation, the UN would be deployed, because those foreign soldiers aren't going to care, you know. Not a tear is going to come to their eye to drop you, you know, to block you in and starve you or anything of the sort, you know, anything of the sort. And I'll tell you what, I told somebody this the other day. Last 2 nights I had some really weird dreams, and one of them was about the end of the world. You know, I don't ever have these kind of dreams or anything like that. I just thought it was really strange, man, and they had everyone blocked in the dream. I don't know, maybe I watch too much YouTube, you know, maybe, you know, I don't watch television, so I just thought that was strange. You know, it was one of those really weird, realistic dreams, right, where you remember them because they're so impactful. And, yeah. They had, everybody was, like when I was looking across the neighborhood, everybody was in their homes and, was, you know, you could tell there's like a curfew and people weren't allowed to leave. And the military was patrolling and stuff. And the atmosphere in which we were talking in the house I was in is we knew major things were happening. And we was actually trying to figure out a way to get our food and to get out of there. So, I don't know. I'm no Nostradamus, that's for sure. And I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying it's strange, man. And you guys notice that anytime things get really significant, man, it seems like people do have strange visions and dreams, right? And when I woke up, man, that's what woke me up. Keep it all the way real. Was an incredible dream of a giant red planet in the sky. That's what triggered me. You know, everybody else has got stories of them watching specific YouTubers and stuff, and it triggered them. I was triggered by a crazy, terrifying dream of the end of the world. So vivid. I've never had anything like it. A voice spoke to me and everything. It was wild. And that's what started me into all this stuff. And then, you know, kind of have another, not quite the same, but a weird dream the other night, man. I pay attention to these things. I think there's something in it. There's something real to it. You know, I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. And for those of you who haven't seen this, I think you might want to take a look at this as well, man. You know, here's the ports, right, where they're saying, oh, don't worry. You know, we're only out of hand sanitizer. I don't know about that, man.
There's no boats. There's no nothing. There's just this stack of cans. That's it. Now, I'm going to take y'all around to another part of the ports to show y'all how empty this is. Because this is the stuff that we buy, the stuff that we shop for in stores. And if there's no cans here, there's no imports. Look at that. You can see all the way over to trucks going on the other side, which lets you know that this is deserted. I should have took a video of the other port that I just came from, which was the China port called Yangming. This is just as empty as this one. There's nothing going on. And there's no trucks here. And this place is usually having hundreds of trucks. Look, there's one. That's an empty can that they're bringing. So mostly it's like empty cans are coming in and there's nothing going out. So y'all better buy whatever y'all gonna buy, because there's no telling how long this is gonna go on. And apparently this is supposed to be because of the coronavirus. Now, this is a real view. This is the real deal of what's going on. This is not something that's seen on the news. This is me out here on the field doing this, letting y'all know what's going on. That truck, it probably got a load, but look at this. This place is empty. These things are tall as buildings and stacked a lot, but it's not happening today. So I'm walking around to show y'all what's going on. Look at this. This is open. This is never open. I can never walk through here like this. Look at that. That's just a few. It's usually stacked like real tall and a lot. Look at this. All this empty space. This is no products coming in. So if y'all want to know for sure what's happening with the coronavirus, this is what's happening.
And you see, man, is that a damn coincidence? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got the military set up by the highway, claiming it's a drill, just like right here in Florida, supposedly National fucking Guard Day, right? But they're sending the chemical, biological, nuclear, radiological response team with them, and they're rolling with backhoes, graders, and dozers. Come on, man. With a police escort? With their lights on? Huh? And then sure enough, guys, after this happened, guess what? Florida bust out with coronavirus, declare state of emergency. You know? Very, very strange, man. Very strange. See right here, guys, look. Watch the cars as they roll through. There's your police. Right now, watch the sides of them and see what they say and shit. I'm not pulling your chain here, man. Chemical, biological, nuclear, radiological response, dude. Look at that right there. See the stickers, y'all? Now, and what really, really creeps me out to the bone, man, is this right here. Look, digging equipment. Yeah. You know, something is not right about that, man. Something is not right about that at all, man. I'm just being all the way legit with you. You know, like I said, this isn't to scare you or anything like that, man. This is just, let's be honest here, dude. You know, we need to be honest, you know, and if we're seeing stores are selling out of shit, the ports are empty, they're rolling in National Guard in all these different states, and they're setting up by highways and shit, man. Rolling in chemical, biological, nuclear response teams with equipment for digging giant damn ditches. What do you think that's for, man? You know, use that noggin you got. It's not good, man. You know, that's what I think of when I see the digging equipment. Just saying, man. Just saying. And then you see that they've been planning for this, man. In the same time they run this pandemic drill, Event 201, they enact this Manpower Guidance Act for civil deployment of who? The reserves, the National Guard, who exactly we are seeing, and how are they enacted in each state. The state governor declares a state of emergency, and what have you seen? 13 damn states declare it. And we're on the cusp of declaring a national emergency. I'm telling you, the media was trying to put the cables on them earlier before this announcement. I thought we were going to get it tonight, to be honest with you. I did. I told you guys that leaked document said mid-March we would see the economy really crash, and we would get the global pandemic announced, that they were holding off to try to hold the markets together. You know, they don't want panic to set in. They don't want panic to set in. So my piece of advice to everyone in this chat room right now and everyone who watches this video, one is share this. Share this shit, man. Don't be a pussy. Share this, man. They know what you're watching anyways. Your Gmail, everything you're connected to, your phone is facially recognizing you and taking your fingerprints. Don't be scared that they're going to come beat on your door. They're already coming to your door when that day comes. You know? So share it, man. Share it. Try to warn some other people so they can see this. Because I don't know how many people who bury their head in the sand make excuses like, I ain't seen nothing like that. Well, now you have, homie. It's on video. Now you have. Right? We've literally got, the president addressing the nation, the WHO addressing the world, right? It's real. Right? Oh, it's just like the flu. Well, it might be. Who cares? Who cares what it's just like? Who cares if it's fake? The actions they're taking aren't, that's for sure. And what have I been saying this whole time? That I ain't pressed about the disease or the virus. I'm pressed about these things, man. And I've told you this was the warning. This is what I was warning you against. Anyone who's watched me can say, yep, John has not said, the disease or the virus will kill you, but they will with their bullshit medical martial law. That they were pushing an agenda. And I've done nothing but thump the drum for the agenda this whole time. And look, man, it is unraveling. I am not a fortune teller. Nope. No Nostradamus. Not Naughty Beaver. I don't have precognition of the future or whatever shit. No. None of it at all. But I do know scripture. I have read documents. White papers. Right? Agenda 21. Agenda 2030. Rex 84. Or Deagle.com. Their 2025 projections of a 70% decrease in the population of the United States. The Georgia Guidestones, maintaining humanity under 500 million. Right? I do look into the mystery schools, the secret societies, and how they call us the profane, and the synagogues of Satan, calling us the goyim, the dogs that we are, the wild beasts of the field. So I know what they think of us. I know what their plans for us are. And I don't deceive myself one bit in thinking they care about me. Pandemic status has a large implication regardless of the death rate. That's the point, Joe. That's the point. You get it. You send me shit all the time. You get it, and a lot of you do. But some still don't, man. Some still don't. Right? And I appreciate everybody who's helped me connect the dots. Thank you, Shoshana. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. This has been a team effort. This ain't just been John. Like I said, I'd say, like, if I was given a real act, half of the things I show you come from you guys. Or more. Seriously. So this is a team effort on this channel. I've tried to create a channel for us, by us, right? The people pay for it to continue. The people submit the photos of the skies, news articles, everything. And in the chat room, I try to address you, and, you know, sometimes it's linked right in the middle of the show. You know, I try to make this about us, not about me. Trust me. They're never going to give me a talk show or make me famous. You can guarantee that. So I have no wild notions of, you know, the Illuminati letting me in. They know who I am, and I'm sure they have a very big distaste for me. I reveal too much. But it's because I have kids. I have three kids, you know, and I'd like to have grandkids, you know. I'd like to be old one day. I'd love that. That'd be cool, you know. That'd be cool. And I would love for you guys, your children, to have children, and your grandchildren to be okay, and you to be okay. And I'd love for humanity to get their shit together and take care of one another and look out for one another. That's what I would really love, you know. But people got to wake up out of their slumber first, and that's the problem. At all costs. I just got a cease and desist letter like a week ago for a video I did for the damn a photo I used in it, a picture I used in it, a cease and desist letter. So they come at me from every damn direction for showing these things. As soon as I think I've seen it all, a new direction pops up, and I'm like, what? Can they get me for that? It was for a thumbnail, is what it was for. So, imagine that, you know, imagine that. You know, and they do this nonstop. They don't want people aware. So, if you enjoy this, you watch this, hit the thumbs up. It boosts with the algorithms. They're going to hit the brakes on it. They do every video I put out. They hit the brakes on it. But we can at least, you know, get it off the ground and get a few people to see it. And if we manually share it on our Facebook, post a link on your Instagram, on your Twitter. I'm on all these things too, so I've already got the links up there. You can just go to my page and share it from there if you don't even want to share it from here. You know, it's super easy. Whatever social media you're using. And, you know, if you have info, you have anything to add to this, not only can you do it in the chat during the live shows, but you can email me, therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com. And, you know, if you want to help this continue, you know, help this effort, support. You know, right now, my main focus is getting myself and my little ones prepped for these things. Like I said, Ohio's in state of emergency now. Dayton, which is right next to me, has its first case. Jobs are laying off here. Things are cutting back, and store shelves are starting to empty of actual food here. So, you know, food pantries are closing. It's getting crazy already. And I'm not talking about panic nuts crazy, but people are complacent and they're not noticing these things, you know. And I would really, you know, love to be prepped up and prepared just in case, you know, just in case. So, if you guys enjoy what I do, you know, this is, you know, my income and how I support my little guys. Consider donating, supporting today. You know, if everybody just gave a little bit, even every little dollar counts, it would really go a long way to help us and help us get prepped up. That way, hopefully, no matter what happens, we're able to continue to share the news and share these kind of things with everyone. You can't do it if you're dead from starvation. But also, and as long as the internet's going, as long as everything's going, I'm going to continue to do this as long as I can do this because I think it's important. You know, I'm pretty certain they're going to kill me no matter what. So at this point, there's no, you know, keeping my head down and my mouth shut at this point, right? I'm pretty sure I'm a dead duck no matter what. So, but I would like to keep this thing going as long as possible. So if you find it to be important, informational, you get something out of it. Get it out there so people can see it. Thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. You know, if you disagree, even let me know what you think. And please consider supporting and helping out. You can do it paypal.me/thebestdampodcast, venmo.com/bestdampodcast, or patreon.com/bestdampodcast. And, you know, like I said, guys, now's not a time to be greedy or anything like that with yourself. Get yourself prepared too. You know, ramen noodles, rice, beans, these type of things. You know, consider purchasing some of that. You know, you can get, you know, you can take $100 probably, $200, and you could literally store up 6 months of food or more if you bought rice, beans, ramen noodles, some Crisco and oils and things of this nature. I'm trying to tell you, you know, water purification tablets, water filters. There's a lot of different tricks to really stretch some food out and to get food, big, large quantities, for fairly cheap. And you could take a family of 4, 5, however many you have, and you can, you know, like I said, a couple $100 would get you guys 6 months to a year's worth of food. And you don't have to order it and wait on it. All the stores are not emptied yet. You know, now would be the time to do that. And that's where I'm telling you, I'm trying to do that. So you should try to do that yourself. I promise you, saving your money won't help you when nothing's coming in the ports, when the grocery stores are empty. No one's going to give a shit about your bills, your dollar bills. You know, they're going to be meaningless. You know, and if this thing goes the way that they want it to, then you know where it's going. We've been talking about this for years. I'm not the only one who warns people of this. You guys do too. You do it at home. You do it with your friends. You do it at work. People just don't listen to you. Same thing they do to me. You know, that's why we hang out together, right? Because we're all little nuts as far as the world's concerned, but we're probably truly the most sane people there are. I mean, let's just be honest here, you know? It's not like we're all pulling this out of our tails, man. You know, we research, you know, we find fact. You know, nobody's making anything up. Nobody has to fabricate a damn thing. You know, matter of fact, I can guarantee every last one of us, maybe with the exception of a few nut jobs, but 99% of us don't want this to happen. It's not like we want this to happen or want things to be in this state or even want to have to consider things going this direction. You know, am I right? If you want this to happen, raise your hand and, you know, what's wrong with you? You know, like, I understand wanting to get home to God, and I understand that in order for things to be new and the golden age to begin, it's got to fall. But I'm telling you, man, people better understand that it's not that simple. And a lot of people will suffer. A lot of people will die. You know, there's a reason the Bible tells you not to be pregnant or with small child during this time, man. It's an ugly, ugly, ugly time in a lot of aspects. Yes, there's beauty. There is. People are waking up. They're finding God. They're changing their life. They're coming together. They're helping each other. You know, loving each other. They're doing amazing things, man. They are. That's beautiful. And when it's all said and done, man, it's going to be incredibly beautiful. But dude, we got to go through a shitstorm to get there. You know, and each day that those who make it to the end, those who endure to the end will be saved. And those few select people, each day they make it will be a miracle, a blessing, man. You know, you have to understand there's never been a time of tribulation like now, and there never will be another time of this tribulation. I think a lot of people, you know, they put that part out of their minds. They don't want to think about that. You know, and I get it. You know, nobody wants to dwell on negativity. Nobody wants to manifest bad things. Nobody wants to live in fear or dread or doom. I get that, man. But also, deep in your head, you do acknowledge that. Like, damn, they call this a tribulation. It's a trial. It's a testing for a reason. It's because everything in this world, this whole world system, will fall away. And the only thing you'll have to depend on, you'll be able to crawl back to the government and submit to the beast system. You'll be able to try to depend on your own efforts alone, right? Which will most likely fail because of the government and the beast system and what they're going to do. Or you can depend on God, right? And I guarantee you, if you choose that route, you'll be pulled across the finish line. Whether you got to be drugged across it, you'll make it. But don't let these things that are happening change your heart and change who you are. Don't let it, put you into this mode of, I can't help nobody because I got to make sure I'm good, survival mode. Or I can't be close to nobody because I might get sick. Don't let it do that to you, dude. Seriously, don't let it turn your heart cold, because it also says that will happen. That many's love will fade. Their love will grow cold. Their hearts will grow cold. Many will fall away during this time. And that's why. That's why. Because when they're tested, they're going to lean towards that physical survival. That I got to take care of me and mine. Right? Instead of the principles that got them to this point. Right? What got you to this point was not just taking care of you and yours. Was not being afraid to be close or love another human being. It wasn't that. It wasn't survival mode that got you to this point. Okay? It was the opposite of that. It was love everyone mode, right? It was accept everyone, help everyone, give all you have, including your heart, to everyone. Without expectation, without limitation, no matter who they are, because we're all connected. We're all brothers and sisters. So don't let it turn your love cold. Don't let it grow cold, guys. Don't fall away. You're too damn close. You're too damn close. And I promise you, it can happen so easy. All in the name of survival. All in the name of protecting those you love. You say to yourself, well, I can't let that man in. He might be sick. Or I can't help that woman. She might be sick. Those type of things. You'll justify it in the name of protecting yourself or those you love. Don't do it. Right? Or I can't help my neighbor, get prepped up and get food. We might need that money. Well, you might, or you might save it and it's worthless, and then that could have been something you could have done to help somebody. So, really, just be who you are. Don't let this change your actions and your spirit, more importantly, in your heart. Don't let it do it. That's what it's trying to do. That's the objective, is to put you into fear, the grip of fear, and to turn you to a sour, nasty, dark soul just like them. Okay? And most people are going to go that direction. You should already know that. Most people are already there, right, in their normal everyday life. And they're going to go to a level way darker as they are tested and things are serious. But they won't make it to the end. It's not designed for that. The Hopi call it a purification for a reason. Judgment Day from the Bible. It's called all these things for a reason. The wheat from the tares, right? Think about it, man. The sheep from the goat. Don't be the goat right now. Not a good idea. The thing that's keeping you standing, keeping you fed, keeping you warm, keeping you safe is your divine protection, is your loving, giving, accepting, nurturing spirit. Okay? Nothing else. It is not on your efforts. Your efforts aren't doing it. Don't deceive yourself into thinking they are. So, I love all of you guys. I do want to thank those of you in the chat room. Nicole Sellers. Looks like Shaylin Mari. Sorry, my glasses are overdue. I need to get them some new ones. Leona Hamilton. Karen Wager, my wonderful moderator. Shoshana Rose, my wonderful moderator. And I will never get this name. Ebelite. Hemagician? I don't know. I'm terrible right now. Sorry, guys. Who else we got? Matt Dowling. Joseph Bonds. Yeah, Joseph Bonds. Who else here? I think I missed somebody. I'll get you on the way up. Joseph Bonds, Matt Dowling, Moth Star. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all you guys. For some reason, I'm not seeing names too good. Leon Connor. Tiny Love. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for joining the chat room. Debbie Price. I did say Shaylin, I think. Right? Shaylin, yeah. Thank you, guys. I do love you, man. And remember, man, right now, you see what's happening. Don't be a fucking idiot. Okay? Don't be an idiot. They're getting in place to block off the highways. Right? They're getting in place to block off the highways.
Empty as this one.
The ports are empty. They've got chemical, biological, nuclear response rolling in some places. And they've been preparing for this shit since last year and drawing up the plans for the National Guard to come in under state of emergency. Alright, guys? Don't be an idiot. Don't be stupid. Don't listen to those fucking new age asshats that want to tell you that, this is just you're living in fear and darkness if you are aware of what's happening and you make preparations. Well, okay. Then you go get butt naked and live off twigs and berries, homie. Because I'm going to try to make sure my little ones are good. And I think y'all should do the same. Just in case. And if nothing happens, then guess what? You're good to go. So, remember, guys, Jesus is the truth, the way, and life. God bless you all. I love you. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Share this around all your social media. Like it if you enjoyed it. Thumbs down if you didn't, I guess. But I'd rather you like it. And those things help with the algorithms also. And please support. Help me out right now. I could use it. God bless you guys. I love you. I'll see you soon. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Peace.